Okay, Goody, this is one of the recipes that you have been asking for, and I am always here to deliver. You wanted me to make authentic Jamaican plantain tart patty in your kitchen, fast, easy, and simple. Me, I'm gonna show you how to make a quick and easy plantain tart in your kitchen, right? The thing is so delicious. You are going to love this recipe. Okay, Goody, if you are here and watching me baking up this plantain tart, this Jamaican authentic plantain tart patty in your kitchen for the very first time, make sure that you have subscribed. If you have not already subscribed, be sure to do so. Turn your post notification settings on, Goody, so you will always be reminded anytime I upload a brand new video. Now, you want to see how I turn up this recipe? Come on and let's get started.
You don't remember where you're coming from. You don't remember where you're coming from. Rastafari, why you turn your back on your brother when him need you? You don't remember the days when him feed you. You know when no obligation but to owe him some respect. All you need to do is just give him what you forget. Turn your back on your brother when him need you.
So let's get right into the recipe and all the things that you're going to need, and I'm going to walk you through this recipe step by step by step. Even if this is your first time, you're going to get it right. Trust me, I got it. If you are going to use salted butter for your flour, right? If that's the only thing you have at hand, do not add any salt to the plantain mix because it's going to throw off the flavor and it's going to be really soft. So here I have my 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Then you want to go ahead and add your 3 tablespoons of butter to that. To that, I'm going to add the tablespoon of baking powder. Do not substitute for baking soda. Please do not do it. Baking powder only. Now, I'm going to be rubbing in all this thing right here. So I'm going to be going in with my fingers. So I took my ring off. I'm going to just combine the flour, the baking powder, and the butter together. Just like that until it becomes nice and flaky. Pretty much like that, right? Now I'm going to go ahead and start adding my water to it. I have about 1.5 cups of water here, icy cold water. So I'm just going to go ahead and add like 1 cup, and then we'll take it from there and see if I need any more or less. But I do have about 1.5 cups of icy cold water right here. Add some more to it. But whatever you do with your dough, just go a little at a time. Now put the whole 1.5 cups in it all at the same time. Just work with the thing as you go along until you get the texture that you so desire for your perfect flake for your patties. Now that is looking mighty fine and perfect, right? You just want to go ahead and just kind of give it a last 2 minutes. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and get a plastic wrap it up, and I'm going to put it in my refrigerator for about an hour. An hour to an hour and a half. The longer you have it sitting in the refrigerator, is the better that the texture is going to be. Now, Goody, while I have my dough just sitting there and gasping up everything else in the refrigerator, it's going to be perfect by the time I get to it. Now, let's talk about the other ingredients that you will need to make the filling to go into the plantain tart, right? Of course, you're making plantain tart, so you need plantains for this recipe. Do not use ripe banana, okay? You're not making banana fritters, you're making plantain tart. Now, if you notice how my plantain them look, like it's ready to go in the trash type of thing, right? That is how I want it to be. Like really, really dark, because the darker, the sweeter. The fluxier, the better. Some want my plantain to look. I have 3 of those, right? Now, you are going to need a cup of granulated sugar. You're also going to need your food coloring, and you're going to need the red food coloring for this recipe because that is the color of the plantain tart. The authenticness of the Jamaican plantain tart is red in the middle, so that is what we're using to get that color. You're also going to need 4 to 5 tablespoons of butter, right? I love it with buttery, so I'm going with 5 of that. You're also going to need vanilla. You're going to need cinnamon powder, allspice, and nutmeg. You're also going to need some almond extract, right? So almond extract. Now, y'all, this is my plantain right here, the way that I had it cut up. But I'm going to show you what I did to get to this step so far. Now I have my plantain right here, and all I did was cut it from the bottom of the stem, so it have 2 stems. You could cut either way. I'm using a big knife. You could use a smaller one. I'm pro, so I can't go this route. Now all I'm doing here, I'm making a slit going down the bottom and then cut it right at the end and peel it off just like this. And you have that beautiful plantain in the middle, right? So even though the skin was raggedy looking, your plantain is still beautiful on the inside. Now, what I'm doing here is making a slit down like that to the middle, like that, and then another one coming down this way. That makes it easier for me to mash it up. And then all I do is cut it and drop it into my basin just like that, and just do the next side the same way that I did the beginning of it, just like so. This is the best plantain ever, sweetest ever. Now for this step you could use a fork, but in this case I'm gonna use this. No, I don't want to mash up the thing till it mash out, like disappear, mash out. I still want to have chunks in it still, because remember I am going to be putting this on stove top and cook it up with all my other ingredients, right? So you just want to be considerate when you're doing this thing. You're not mash up potatoes, you're not making mashed potatoes here, y'all. You still want to have those chunks, some chunks in it, if that makes any sense. I think this is pretty good. I don't want to mash up no more than this. That is perfectly fine right there. Okay, goodie, we are moving on to the next step of making our filling. This filling is gonna be yummy-licious. I got my pot on that fire. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and add my plantains to the mix, like so. So you add the plantain in. Then to that, I'm gonna add my butter, right? Now, like I said before, you could use unsalted butter, salted butter, but make sure if you're going to use salted butter here, you don't add any salt to the flour. Then you want to add your sugar. And I am using exactly 1 cup of granulated sugar. I don't like to use brown sugar for this recipe. It does something to it that I don't like. Now, a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. And then I'm gonna add a 1/2 teaspoon of allspice to it as well. That allspice is going to give it a mean, wicked flavor. And then top it off with the cinnamon powder, and you're gonna add 1 tablespoon of that, right? So clash everything together. Now you wanna go ahead and add that vanilla, 1 tablespoon of that too. Then you want to go ahead and add your almond extract to it. Almond extract gonna combine that banana and all the other spices there and just make everything nice and friendly. It's gonna give it a different kind of flavor. And then you wanna mix all this together. Allow the butter and everything else to melt. Nice. Goodie. All the spices combined with that almond extract, this thing have a different kind of smell to the thing. Now that the butter has melted, right, I'm gonna go ahead and add my food coloring. Now, food coloring is whatever you so choose. Some people like the plantain tart dark in color, some people not so dark, right? So you just want to play around with the color that you so choose. And that goodie is how your filling need to be looking, right? As soon as it starts to bubble, that first 3 minutes on low to medium heat. Low to medium heat. You go ahead and you just take it off the heat. Just take it off the heat and let it sit and cool, right? When you put this filling into the patties, you want to make sure that this is like cold. Cold to the touch. Not hot to the touch, you know. Cold to the touch. So yeah, that is how your filling need to be looking. Just like that. See that? Look. You see how it's holding? That's how the filling need to be looking. Just like that. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect. Okay, y'all. So my dough is perfect. Perfectly sitting for about an hour and a half. And that is the way that I want it to be. Now I'm going to go ahead and release it finally from bondage, right? Out of that plastic it goes, and bam, perfect dough right there. Look at that, perfect dough. How you know that it's perfect? When it's stretched like that. That's when you know this thing is sitting just right. Okay? Perfection. That's when you know this thing is so right. You could just feel it, just feels so good in the palm of your hands, just like that. Perfect dough. I'm gonna go ahead and start with half of it first, and then we'll do the other half. So I get some flour just to make sure that this thing does not stick when I start to roll it with my rolling pin. And we want to roll this thing out real good, nice and flat, right? Now this is sitting really good. I'm going to go ahead and make circles, and you could use whatever you want to use to make you some perfect sizes patty. My little bowl worked perfect for me, and that's what I am going to use today. So that looks pretty good right there. And these are looking just perfect. The perfect size patty that I need this thing to be. Now, after I've achieved the circle that I need my patties to be, I'm going to go ahead and add my filling to the mix. Right, that's all. Right there. And you just want to fold that right there. Press it down, seal it with your fingers like that. Go in and get a fork and just give it some crimps at the end. That way, when you're baking your patties, it does not start to leak out, right? It's gonna be nice and sealed and perfect on the inside of that thing there. Then you are going to give it 3 little fork hole. What you're doing right there is giving it place to breathe and pop into the thing, right? Yeah. And that, my friends, are your plantain tart patties right there. Let me make you up another one. Okay, y'all, this sheet right here is gonna hold 4, but I'm making about 12 patties. All this is gonna make me about 12 patty. So what I'm doing right here, I'm just adding some melted butter on top. So when this thing bake, it is going to bake with one of the meanest crust on top, right? On top. Now, goodie, you want to make sure that you put this plantain tart inside of a preheated oven only. Alright, preheated oven only. And once again, all the amount and everything that I'm doing here will be down in your description box. So go ahead and check that out, okay? So we're gonna go ahead, pop these in the oven, and when we come back here, we will have perfectly baked Jamaican plantain tart in your kitchen. Fast, easy, and simple. Now, goody, as soon as your plantain tart patties get out the oven, nice and hot, you want to make sure that you have your melted butter at hand, and you are going to go ahead and get that melted butter on those patties, okay? You want to make sure that you get it on there, goody, because it's going to give it that extra little taste to the patty right there. So, you're going to let it sit. These are better eaten cold or warm, not hot, okay? That is your patties right there. Nice and hot from the oven. Goody, I'm all done. My Jamaican authentic plantain tart patty in your kitchen is fast, easy, and simple. You are going to love, 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 love this one, goody. Now, don't forget to subscribe now, right? Share the love with friends and family. Anybody who wants to share, to go ahead and share. Also, tell me what you would like to see me cooking next in my kitchen. And as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen, enjoy! I'm going to let this cook for a good 30 minutes on medium heat. Cover it up nice and make it simmer. And when it's done simmer, it's time for we eat. So see you back in a few minutes.
So this is in with your foundation, full coverage, you know, like bam. And last but not least, the last thing I tend to go for in my makeup collection is this palette right here. Let me show you what this baby looks like. It has a whole bunch of concealers. I believe it's $10 for this palette.